Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is all about preparation on a real chessboard with no digital interface. So now you are able to understand the Sicilian defense, Alapin Barmen defense, following by a 15-move line of a strong preparation. Let's jump right into it. White opens with the king's pawn, controls the center, the f5 and d5 squares, and opens up this long diagonal to the bishop. C5, the characteristic move of the Sicilian defense, controls d4 and black guarantees that the position will become in balance, looking to exchange the c-pawn, a side pawn, for a central pawn of white, the d-pawn. In the meantime, white goes for c3, the characteristic move of the Alapin variation. The main idea is to play d4 next move and gain central control. Black responds with d5, fighting the center as well with no further ado, and threatens to win the e5 pawn. E takes d5, opening up the center and looking forward to d4 break, and activating his pieces very well with quick development. Queen takes d5, taking back the pawn and places the queen in a good square in the center of the board. This is the characteristic line of the Barmen variation. There you have it. The queen reaches many squares. d4, striking the center and creating space for white. This was the main idea of playing c3 move before. Knight c6, black brings out the first piece toward the center, attacks the d4 pawn and increasing the pressure on d4. That's why white simply follows up with knight f3, defending the d4 pawn and also develops his piece toward the center too. And black goes for e6. With this move, black makes way so his dark square bishop can develop. All white will continue here. White goes for bishop d3, developing another piece from the king side, reinforces the presence on the center, places his bishop on this active diagonal and also prepares to castle. C takes d4. Black is finally taking the c-pawn, releases the pressure on the center, and creates an isolated pawn for white. Black also is opening the c-file. White just recaptures the pawn and regains the central control. This is a well-known theory, guys, already played out hundreds of times before. Knight f6, the knight comes out aiming the central squares, keeping an eye on e4. White puts his king on safety and gets ready for the battle. A good move next will be put his rook on e1, centralizing the rook on an active file. Bishop e7, naturally developing the dark square bishop and prepares to castle next move, maybe. White still needs to deal with the pieces on the queen side. There we go, knight c3 develops another piece with tempo because attacks the black queen at the same time, forcing it to move it again. Wish the black queen goes to a safer square, the best move in the position, staying close to the center with good activity. a3, it's a prophylactic move, preventing the knight to jump to b4, that will probably go to d5, blockading the center and placing the knight in the center of the board, controlling many good squares. In the meantime, black finally castles it out and puts his king on safety. Since the center is opened, castle to the same side of the board is an approach that makes a lot of sense. Now, since the black did castle, it's time to defend the d4 pawn that is hanging. Because after all the trades take, bishop e5 is no longer a check. That's the reason white just have played bishop e3, to defend the pawn while it's developing the piece at the same time. b6. Black is thinking about to activate his light square bishop on this long diagonal, aiming the center and the white's king as well. Rook e1, centralizing his rook and prepares for central breaks later on. And black goes bishop b7, activating his bishop and also connecting the rooks so they can help each other. White is thinking for a bit here. What is the plan for white now? White just do the same, connecting his rooks and at the same time is piling up on the d file. Now all the pieces are into the battle. Rook a to c8. Black simply centralizes his rook and placing his rook on an open file. Very simple chess here, and excellent chess. White does the same, both white rooks are now centralized, right on the center of the board, ready for central breaks and support very well his pieces. Knight d5. Black decides to put his knight in a good square, preventing for the time being the white to do a d5 break. In the meantime, it stays very active, fighting the center and controlling many squares. Which white simplifies the position and decides to remove the knight from the d5 square, looking forward to activate even more his pieces, starting with bishop c4 then d5, since black will take with the queen to avoid creating an isolated pawn and maintain his solid pawn structure. Black just takes back the knight and also put his queen very well aligned with his light squared bishop on this beautiful diagonal, aiming the white king. This was a training, instructive and educational content that allows you to learn how to play this strong preparation. By following a 50-move line, you stay focused on that variation from start to finish, avoiding getting lost in excessive nuances. So you reach the end of this line with greater clarity. This preparation is very accurate because most of the moves are theory, the well-known moves played hundreds of times before, and then a few moves suggested by the computer. This content is important to you, not only to know the moves of this variant and memorize them, but to understand the line and the ideas behind. So the challenge for you to learn and improve is this great opportunity to follow these 4 steps. Comment your thoughts below. Suggest a new opening for me to do another strong preparation for you. Oh, and just subscribe to be part of this community. There is a lot of high quality preparation coming your way. A huge and sincere thank you to you.